for $1,000, and you've got Kaiserklein playing the Russians. He's going to be up against his opponent, who's spawning on the left, or sorry, the right-hand side of the map. Knuschelbär playing the Japanese again for the second time in the tournament. So probably a little bit of a giveaway there when Knusch is on the Russians. Russians are quite well known as a potential counter to the Japanese players, just simply because of the difficulty of dealing with Strelets. Strelets are incredibly difficult to deal with for the Japanese. Obviously, they've got many different ways that they can do it, but they just can't do it cost effectively. So Knuschelbär spawning in on the right of the map. On the left of the map, we've got Kaiserklein in the color blue, and oh my lord, that is awkward. That is indeed a little bit awkward. So the map, for anybody unfamiliar with it, is Korea. Korea, of course, being a water map, but only very limited in water. So just having a little bit of water around the top. No whales, just normal fish. So there's not going to be longevity like we see in those very common in those very common Borneo games where there's just a lot of whales. But here we've got so Kaiserklein really just putting out the damage. I don't know why Knusch isn't poofing back yet. At this point, it feels very difficult because you just backed into a corner. You're losing a lot of HP for free, and now we finally see the poof going down. Probably just wanting to scout that out before returning back to his base and finally getting that poof in. Putting down a forward shrine as well, locking down one of these hunts for Kaiserklein. He's going to have to deal with this before he's able to access it. The market going down. This is something that we've seen Knuschelbär do quite a bit. So it's not the first time that we've seen Knuschelbär do this. And plenty of wood treasures out on the map. Plenty of wood treasures out on the map at the moment. So we've got, let's take a look and see what we've got. We've got one wood treasure. No wood treasure here. That's a food treasure. 2 wood treasures. 3 wood treasures. Oh, I just realized I've got to turn down my sensitivity. It's a little bit too high. Alright, there we go. So we've got 3 wood treasures spawning in. So they did say that they reduced the wood treasures on this map spawning in. It's gone down from 5 wood treasures down to 3 wood treasures. So still a huge amount of wood treasures. They just seem to be on Kaiserklein's side of the map. We've got the 75 wood. We've got the 75 wood. And then in the middle, we've got the 80 wood. But I would say overall, they're in relatively neutral spots. Definitely not any treasures like down here or something like that. But yeah, relatively good spots. And now we've got the second wood treasure being taken by Kaiserklein. It is quite safe to his base, but we do see that Knusch is aware of this. Knusch is going to be on the money. Let's see. The first tiger is running back. Knuschelbär is out, and he gets Kaiser actually gets a reset. This is not what he was looking for. Is Kaiserklein just going to give this one up? It doesn't look like he's going to give this one up. He's going to move into position, and at the same time, as he moves into position, Knuschelbär's explorer comes into line of sight. Hey mate, hey buddy, what are you doing down there? So Kaiserklein being very fortunate. You know, sometimes it's almost like a little gift from God, in that over here Kaiserklein had pulled out his explorer and he'd done a little bit of a mistake, and like you saw that the tiger reset over to the side here, but then that's reset the treasure. But then at the same time he's just saying, you know what, I reckon I can take this treasure even if you want. Even if I want to, but actually looking like he's just going to take the shot. He's going to leave it. He'll come back to it. The Japanese player has a very difficult time dealing with these larger HP guardians, and as a result, it means Kaiser can really just threaten him and say, hey, I'm just going to take a shot. I'm just going to leave that here, and you're not going to be able to take it, and I'm just going to get it for free. And that's exactly what happens. So Kaiser poofing out. We see that, Knusch poofing out. Kaiser is now up with the quartermaster. And at the same time, on the south of the map, we've got Knuschelbär's explorer, which is almost dying. Does Kaiser know about this? Kaiser does know about it, but he doesn't. He just knows that it exists. He doesn't actually know what's happening. He hasn't uncovered it, and you guys would have seen we've got 3 settlers coming out to the forward base. At the same time, we've got the Torii gates going down from Knuschelbär. Quite an early age up. He's got 1, 2, it looks like just 2 villagers on that Torii gates. Surprising. And we caught it. We caught it just in time. Knusch's explorer trying to be a little bit cheeky, but unfortunately going down. The second one is still alive. Knusch really living on the edge at the moment with his explorers. We've got 2 explorers, just with very, very low HP. The second one now poofing back. Probably going to go collect the first one after the age up. But yes, a very, very curious state of events. And we have now Kaiserklein almost finishing the forward base that he's putting up. This is a very early age up. So getting a food treasure is part of the reason why he's able to age up this early. dropping down this house in his base. We're going to be keeping our eyes on him, really keeping a look at the action. This is such an early age up coming in from Kaiserklein. These Cossacks, he's going to be shipping 5 Cossacks from the home city. Here they come. 3, 2, 1. There are the 5 Cossacks. There they are. There they are. There are the 5 Cossacks. Now, speaking of OBS, we are currently observing Kaiserklein. We're on the line with Kaiserklein, and he has got his Explorer with full health, hasn't lost his Explorers like Knuschelbär. I hope you guys are all ready to go. We've got an Explorer coming out, a Villager coming out. I thought we might have potentially seen walls coming down here like this, but no, it doesn't look like it's going to be. And this Samurai just really not doing anything. So, Knuschelbär, you should know that your opponent is going to be sending 5 Cossacks, and you need to keep this for those 5 Cossacks. When these 5 Cossacks come in, that's what you need. Maybe OBS doesn't like channel switches? No, it's nothing to do with channel switches. It's to do with Age of Empires 3, I assume. Or it could just be my internet, but we'll see. We'll talk about that later, because right now we've got this to talk about. It's 5 minutes 13. You can see up in the top left-hand corner of the map. 5 minutes 14, 15, or sorry, 19, 20, there we go. But a little bit of acute wall going in now. Let's turn off the line of sight, and more walling going down to the south. Keep in mind, the Japanese player doesn't have to use his hunts to eat. He just makes shrines on them. And now we begin the idle TC time. The first batch of Strelets begins moving in. The Ashigaru are out, and they're beginning to get chased by the Strelets. The town center is focusing down the Cossacks. But it looks like the Cossacks are going to be able to collect these. A volley going off. It looks like a full volley going off onto the Ashigaru, and the Ashigaru are moving towards the corner, but there's a problem, and that problem is the 3 villagers may potentially get caught for Knuschelbär, but it looks like a villager is going to come and pick them up, make sure that they're safe, and actually pick up a couple of Ashigarus as well. How many Ashigarus did we get in there? Just 1. But now we've got a villager that is going to be snared by the Explorer of the opponent, and now we've got some Yumi archers being chased. Trained. So what I'd like to see is this turn into a gate and Yumi archers just sitting here and moving in and out of this gate. That's what we need to see. And now we've got enlist irregulars. So now he's going to be one-shotting these bad boys. Ready? 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 Boom. One shot. Boom. One shot. So that's not going to be a problem at all. Kaiserklein's going to have a bit of a difficult time dealing with this. So with just making sure he just keeps 10 in the deck. But definitely realizing at this point, and now a couple of the villagers have actually been chased down by the Cossacks of Kaiserklein. Kaiserklein really not missing a beat. These villagers is coming around, and Kaiserklein seeing that and exploiting it and sending his Cossacks up to go and collect them, taking out. I think he took out 2 villagers. No, 1 villager and an Ashigaru. Why is Noosh still playing Japan? You're allowed to play a civilization and win with it twice. So even though Noosh won. The first game with his Japanese, he's allowed to play a second time. If he wins this game, he won't be able to play Japanese ever again in this show match series. So now we've got 8 settlers, or 8 villagers in the town center, just enough to be one-shotting the Strelet, because the Strelet does have 30% range resist. So Noosh definitely doing his math, definitely doing his quick math, I would say. And really just being quite cheeky, keeping this here, sending his Explorer, or his fishing boat to the north here. Explorer, I'm not sure exactly what he's doing. It looks like he might have just picked up a treasure, 75 wood treasure. That's what he just did. Now some Yumi's going to be going down as well. Unfortunately, it looks like they were running a little bit slow. It might have been that they were getting caught up over on this ledge though. And it looks like a Divine Strike coming in and just taking out the Cossack for whatever reason. I don't know. Divine Strike is a perfectly balanced mechanic. And they're just absolutely doing work. And now we see the Musketeers beginning to mass over on the left-hand side of the map. 700 coin coming in behind, so we may be seeing a potential switch. Do we have a market? Yes, we've got a market. Let's see how much these bad boys are collecting. They are indeed collecting with their steel traps on. Do we have any cards sent in from the home city? We don't have any Spice Trade, any Furia. We don't have Economic Theory sent in just yet. But we do have that 700 coin that's on the way. So we're going to be seeing a Cossack switch with this, or a potential Fortress Age. I wouldn't put it out of the question when it comes to Kaiserklein and a Fortress Age switch. Typically with Kaiserklein, he opts to go into Fortress Age very, very quickly. The way that he's macroing, we don't actually see that stable going down. So I would be expecting he's probably going to be going for Fortress Age, just because I know that it's Kaiser. Obviously keeping 3 vills in the queue, and then I reckon he's going to gather this up. You can see he's only got 2 villagers on coin, so probably 100% going to be going to the Fortress Age. And behind this, we've got chest of coin coming in as well from Knuschelbär. So Knuschelbär opting to go up to the Fortress Age potentially as well. Otherwise, going to be calling in that military rickshaw, putting down a stable, and opting for more Age 2 play. And I think that might be the right choice. One of the things to point out is that Russia typically underscores against their opponent. Well, not today. Russia is doing very well against their opponent. This is an indicator to me that Japan might be a little bit behind at this point. So Kaiserklein doing a bit of early aggression, getting that card sent in. So the card that we're talking about is Enlist in Irregulars, which is the equivalent of Colonial Militia for the European civilizations. And really forcing Knuschelbär to send that, and just forcing him as a result to play a bit more safe. And by playing safe, it forces him to be less greedy, and by being less greedy, it means that your opponent has a much greater chance, and so that's why we're seeing that. Now, excuse me for a second. I'm just going to be taking a quick swig of my Red Bull. Delicious. Kaiserklein, age up in queue. Exiled Prince. We do see this almost 100% of the time when a civilization's got it. He doesn't have place of mines. But I apologize, missing the fight up to the north. I'm not sure exactly what I was thinking, what I was doing. But Knuschelbär once again getting pushed into the corner. Apologies, guys. I did not mean to miss that. But we've got the age up going down now. The Golden Pavilion, I'm assuming it is indeed the Golden Pavilion. And some beautiful walls going up from Knusch. At the same time getting sieged. But we also see a dock going down for Kaiserklein. So instead of opting for a town center, he's just going for a dock. These walls not really continuing any further away, around. I don't know. Okay, there they go. And finally being deleted. And yeah, I would say at this point, Kaiserklein definitely seems to be in a really strong position. Primarily because he's obviously up to the 3rd age, a little bit ahead of his opponent. He's shipping 1,000 wood, dropping down a dock. He's going to be sending out, I would suspect, fishing boats. I can't imagine him training a caravel for this. He hasn't even included caravels or a frigate in his deck, just because he knows the irrelevancy of water on this map. Water does exist, but not necessarily to be abused in the same way it does on other maps. Now we've got a stable going down. Are we going to see some Operniks? Oh baby, oh baby, it's the Kaiserklein Opernik. You're all here for it. You know, when I said I want a show match, I want a best of 9 show match between the 2 top players on the ladder. And I want them playing the best civilizations that they've got. I envisioned Kaiserklein on Russia making Operniks in the 3rd age. That's exactly what I envisioned. And I'm so excited to see it. Keep in mind, this show match right now is for $1,000. Well, technically more than $1,000 we've got up for grabs with this show match. And Kaiserklein's building Operniks as the Russians in the 4th match. So, incredibly excited to see what he's going to be able to do with that. Operniks have an incredibly high siege damage. And as a result, it means they're very good for chasing down these shrines. So if we go look at Kaiserklein's perspective, he's discovered 1 shrine. But there's no other real shrines on the map. But you can see, he's just moving his army out to go and check. He's constantly moving this army and saying, hey, I'm going to take control of the map. I've got complete control down to the south. You've got nothing down here. And if you do have anything down there, I'm just going to burn it. And meanwhile, on Knuschelbär's end, he's got nothing down here. He's got 1 shrine that's going to be lasting for about 6 seconds. And now this shrine that's just been scattered to the north is going to be going down as well. But I guess the question now for Knusch is that if your opponent has Operniks and you know that they're out on the map burning your shrines down, do you even want to make more shrines? Like, sure, you've got a shrine here, you're locking it down. We actually see a caravel coming out from Kaiserklein. I did not expect this. We've got a single fishing boat and then a caravel, and the caravel's been able to spot this shrine which has been put down. Actually, I think the shrine may have been spotted. No, it doesn't actually get spotted by the dock. 2 falconets now coming in as well for the Russian player. Kaiserklein looking in a pretty darn good position and a good condition as well. Now finally, these units being forced back by the Ashigaru. Might turn off line of sight. What do you guys think? I think we turn it off. And 1 fishing boat going down. Eventually. It doesn't look like Kaiser's using the special broadside ability. Gosh. The way they feel is just not good. And now we've got Kaiserklein just quite literally deleting the pillars, and then poofing back. A couple of Ashigarus. He's feeling very safe though in his base. He's got his flaming arrows. He's got the walls. He's got the Yabusami. He knows the power of the Yabusami. Really, he's got 2 of them out. 6.8 movement speed, so they are quite a strong dragoon, especially against the cavalry of the Russian player. Going to be putting out a lot of damage, more than 40 DPS. And unfortunately, there he goes. Look at his body just float down, 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 sinking. Took an arrow to the knee. But Russian player, Kaiserklein, really just moving his army back at the moment, has obviously scattered these Ashigaru. The Ashigaru have got no idea what is about to hit them. And what is about to hit them? Falconets, baby. Boom. So the first falconet, or the first volley taking out a single Ashigaru. Now getting snared by the Operniks. And at the same time being taken out by the Strelets. So I would say at this point, Kaiserklein is at an incredible position right here. And it really just comes down to his ability to control the map. He's just done a marvelous job of it, and Noosh just being absolutely annoying with it, but he's just donating experience over to his opponent. And now we've got Manchu coming in queue for the Russians. For anybody who doesn't know, Manchu, an incredibly strong mercenary. Basically the equivalent of the cavalry archer. And now we've got the triple house drop coming down from Kaiserklein to sort of deal with the Manchu. And the Yabusami are now on the field as well. So the Manchu are going to be able to deal with any form of Nagi. But that's really about it. Other than that, I guess they really supplement the army against melee infantry like the Yabusami. That's not Yabusami, that's the Yamabushi. Apologies. Just burped a little bit. Isn't that sweet? I'm sure you guys needed to know that. You know what else you need to know? You need to know that Kaiser looks like he's really positioning right now. Like, I would suspect he's going to be hitting his opponent pretty soon. He's looking quite comfy though, if I'm being honest. Like, he's got his villagers down here. He's only sitting on one town center. Where's his explorer at? Where's the explorer for Kaiserklein? Where's? Oh, he's in the base of Noosh. And so now once again we've got this shrine going down, like donating experience to your opponent. It just, I don't know if I can really agree with it. I'd be going for more like 2008 shrines and just be putting 20 shrines down in your base. Because unfortunately, oh gosh, this doesn't look good. Okay, fortunately he backs away. Now the Manchu are in with 5 cavalry archer as well that's been trained, and counter infantry rifling in as well. 5 more cavalry archer coming in behind it. So I think Kaiserklein's almost having flashbacks to last game and saying there was so much hand cavalry, I need to deal with them. But the crazy part is, Noosh doesn't even make hand cavalry. He doesn't have a single one. And yet Kaiser's gone to the extent of making that many, and we see the flaming arrows managed to take out the caravel just in time. Caravel absolutely just falling down on the cliffs of the coast. Got next shipment in. We see Strelet combat being sent. 20% attack and health for the Strelets. They look like they're in a great position though. Counter infantry rifling as well. Exactly what you want to see. Really, when your opponent sees that you've got counter infantry rifling, you'll never see an Ashigaru out of them ever again. Strelets in particular do quite well against any kind of musketeer, any sort of heavy infantry. They're going to do very well, and they trade incredibly well against other skirmishers. So even Yumi archers, they're going to do very well against. And so now we've got more shrines in the north of the map that are just going to get burnt down. I really don't know at this point what Noosh can be doing, or why Noosh is doing this, honestly. I would feel incredibly disheartened. I know that he is sending out some Yabusamis, but obviously scouting that the Strelets were heading up to the north as well, and sort of rerouting himself. We've got a bunch of Yumi archers that are now pushing out. We've got Yumis and Nagis in queue as well, and a bit of a late game, a 15-minute treasure contention. Well, not really contention, but a 15-minute treasure pickup here. The 80 wood, not too bad. You know, at the end of the day, it's 80 wood. Whether your settler can get to it or not, that's a different matter. And so now we do a little bit of a comparison of the economies. So after the shrines have gone down, and looks like the Opernik might die as well. Doesn't look like he's going to split that up. So we've got, oh my gosh, look at this Manchus. These Manchus are 100% going to be able to seal these off, but at the same time, it looks like we may have a fight that's about to break out, just because these Manchu are definitely in position. Oh, they almost one-shot that Yabusami. Holy moly, that was a lot of damage. And the second shot going off, taking it down to about half HP, and just a huge stack of cavalry archers at this point. But the flaming arrow is just going to sit back safely on the back line. I really like the Yumi mass that we're seeing here. I feel like in this position, I want to see like a whole bunch of Yumis, and I want to see walls. That's what I want to see. Yumi, walls, and flaming arrows. That's what I would be hoping comes out from Knuschelbär in this series, or in this game at least. But now we've got the Culverin, and Culverin are really the answer to the flaming arrows. And once again, Kaiserklein not hesitating to show these Culverin at all. I think this is quite a big oversight from Kaiserklein. Like, sure, you're getting damage on here, but at what cost? You've just told your opponent, hey, I've got a whole bunch of Culverin. If you'd not done that, you would have been able to pick your engagement, bring your Culverin in, and then just absolutely just destroy your opponent. Get one flaming arrow at least, probably get the second one as well. And now we've got the Japanese explorer just poofing out. We did catch the end of it. The Japanese explorer coming from the town center, just in time for the battle that's about to ensue outside the Japanese base. And once again, you know, maybe I'm wrong about Noosh, but we do actually see he's starting to be putting down these shrines. Flaming arrows from the north. Strelet mass is definitely dwindling, I would say. It needs to be bigger than this. I feel like I would need to see at least 50, 60 Strelets coming out now. Huge volley on the front. Flaming arrows moving back, acknowledging that there are Culverin here, but the Culverin are moving back, and at the same time, we've got the Yabusami coming in from the top, which are going to be able to focus down the Falconets. First shot goes off, second volley goes off, Falconet 1 is down. They move on to the second Falconet is down. And at the same time, it looked like it was shooting at the wall, unfortunately. Wall taking 200 damage. Indeed, they were shooting at the wall, so a little bit of miss micro here. But the Culverin going down, both of the flaming arrows on the backline are dead, and at the same time, we've had the Yumi archers just popping off the entire time. We've got 5 more Yabusamis. These units are amazing. I never realized how good these units are. These have honestly been the highlight of this show match series for me. These are just amazing. They're like really fast Culverin. Incredible. 18 range on them as well. Gosh, incredible. So a really, really good hold there from Kaiserklein. And I've got to ask the question, if he just didn't show those Culverin, like what do you get? Maybe you picked off a Yumi, maybe you did a little damage to the one standing next to it, but it's not a lot. I don't feel like it's enough to justify revealing them. I just want to bring my Culves up and just drop them in. Just be like, hey buddy, I got 2 Culves. How you doing? Like that. And then just take out the flaming arrows and then really leave your opponent to sort of deal... Or not take out, yeah, take out the flaming arrows and then leave your opponent to sit there. We've got the two Falconets coming out now. A whole bunch more cavalry archers. We've got, how many cav archers do we have on the field? 17 cav archers, 3 Manchus, and now the Strela mass is beginning to build. I think that Kaiserklein's still probably in a favorable position. 57 villages, Boyars on the way. He does have the refrigeration in deck with the advanced arsenal, but is opting to send Boyars instead. At this point, I think it would be curious. Now that he's got the second town center up, in this position, he's still got quite a lot of hunt. I'd be saying, hey, why not ship that refrigeration? This game doesn't look like it's going to be over anytime soon. If anything, I feel like this game is going for the late game, because now we've got Noosh putting down a second town center as well. Is Kaiser going to be able to stop this? I don't think so. It looks like it's going to be going up 100%. It does go up. It completes with no problem. Strelit's moving in. Strelit's trade incredibly effective with the Yumis, but the Yumis do have way of the bow. We can tell because they've got that 20 range. So 20 range coming in as well. And the Falconets are now moving up to begin sieging the town center. There's 3 villages in the town center. Not a huge amount, but they do have that all-important... Oh, they've got that important card, the Enlist Irregulars. And so now the fight begins to somewhat unfold, but at the same time, we've got the Yabusamis just trying to pick off this Falconet, manages to survive with 42 HP. Kaiserklein actually doing a wonderful job with it this time. And now the Irregulars popping out, and the villager looking like it's just gonna... Oh, the villager almost died. The health pool on it was dropping down. And a single Nagi coming in from behind. Look, what's that Nagi doing? Look at the volley. The entire volley just like barely manages to scratch that Nagi. Do we have any more Nagis out on the field, though? Doesn't look like it. We've got a whole bunch of Yabusami, a whole bunch of Yumi. And I tell you what, this is a... Oh, we've got 5 Disciplined Nagi back here. And the second Falconet goes down. Apologies for missing that one, but the Yabusami is absolutely just going to town. Really not having enough of a Strelet mass here. The Strelet mass is beginning to dwindle. It's on 43 at the moment. Against how many bows is that? That's 42 bows. I tell you what, you're going to need a lot more Strelets than that. I don't even know where you're taking this fight. This doesn't feel right. Now the 2 flaming arrows coming in behind. Do we have any more upgrades for our Yumi? We do, so maybe 20% Yumi attack would have been a wise choice as well. We do know that our opponent is training Culverins, so why are we sending more flaming arrows from the home city? Maybe because we can force them to make Culverins by doing that and further invest in those resources rather than putting them into actual units they can use, like the Falconets. I'd be curious to see, though. Are we going to see a Culverin trained? Potentially. 74 villages now for Kaiserklein. At the 20-minute mark, not too bad at all. But a huge mass of Yumi beginning to build, and Strelet's just doing a terrible thing. Did you see that? They're moving at like 0.1 movement speed, just very slowly, waiting to get shot at by the Yumis. Just simply because they've been grouped at the back. But the Yabusami looking to move into position, heading up to the front, almost got a volley off and almost taking out the Falconet. But we've got the Nagis now moving in from the right-hand side. Looks like they're going to be able to get on top of the Strelets and be able to take out this mass of Strelets, prevent them from walking back. Look how slow these guys are moving. But really, we're waiting for these flaming arrows. Finally, those flaming arrows are coming in. We've got advanced arsenal coming in from the home city. Going to be able to upgrade these Strelets and really give them a little bit more oomph. Increase that movement speed. That's what you want. You want to see those 5-speed Strelets. It's really going to help you. But the flaming arrows now moving into position. Are they going to be able to take out the house? Yes, they are going to be able to take out the house. But no need to worry, because the Yabusami is going to do their job and they're going to take out the first Falconet. Second Falconet. Looks like it's going to get pulled very carefully. But the volley goes off. The first volley goes off. It's down to 15 HP. It dies. How many Falconets have gone down this game to Yabusami? I reckon it's got to be 6, right? I've counted 6 so far. I think it's about 6. It's an incredible amount of falconets have gone down to Yabusami, and they just sit here on the back line. You can't kill them. You can't pick them off. You don't have long-range skirmishes to deal with them. You've just got strelets. So what do you even make against this combo? This just, I feel like, oh, we've got fishing boats still being trained over here. What do you do against this combo? Because, you know, on one hand, I'm like, okay, well, Russia counters the Japanese because the Russians can build strelets, which counter the Ashigaru very effectively. Well, what if the Japanese player just makes Yumi? Okay, well, that's fine. I'll make falconets. Okay, well, what if they make flaming arrows? That's fine. I'll make culverin. Well, what happens if they make Yabusami? And no Russian player has ever been able to answer that question. And it seems like Kaiserklein is in that group as well. Because at the moment, it definitely seems like the massive Yabusami are the MVPs for the moment. Incredibly impressive. 83 villages to Kaiserklein. So he might not be able to out-micro the high speed of the Yabusami, but he's definitely putting an effort into out-macroing. We now see 60 villager population, or 58 villager population at the moment. Pretty good macro coming out from Noosh. A lot better than what we've seen in other games. So that's definitely one of the highlights, I would say, is that Noosh is looking a little bit more warmed up now as we head into the 4th game of this series. And the question is, where does Kaiserklein go from here? Is he going to be opting for an Age 4? He's got 83 villages out on the map. He's going for a switch, a Cossack switch. Is he hiding these Cossacks? We've got military drummers also coming in, so he's going to be getting that speed upgrade for his strelets. And I suspect what we're going to see is the military drummer veteran strelets just literally push up to the Yumi and try and surround them. Now, it is tough because Yumi, they're a fast unit. But I think that, honestly, how many... This is 15 Cossacks. 20 Cossacks now. Where's our 20 Cossacks? There's another stable up here to the north. Okay. And these Cossacks, they've been upgraded. They've got quite a bit of extra health, but a massive charge that's coming out right now. We've got Yabusami on the back line. We've got 10 Yabusami. It's not going to be enough, but we do have Yamabushi as well. The Yamabushi are really going to be the front line that Knuschelbär needs to stop this, and manages to repel the charge from the Cossacks. Cossacks now moving back to a safer position, but at the same time, the flaming arrows sitting a little bit too far on the front line, I'd say. If you want your flaming arrows out, you probably want them back here. I wouldn't put them up here. I think it's a little bit too far, but nonetheless, the fight continues to ensue. Over on the on Kaiserklein's side, we've got 13 veteran Cossacks. I'd love to see just 5 Cossacks move around here to the south, but we've got 2 more batches of Cossacks in queue. Maybe sell some wood. Yeah, here we go. We see the wood being sold, and he's getting more of these Cossacks out. He's now got a double batch of Cossacks coming in, so the reinforcing batches are going to be looking really, really good from Kaiserklein. Definitely got him on the ropes at the moment. The military drummer really paying off for the veteran strelets at this point, because the military drummer allows the strelets to keep up with the Yumi, and even though they're snared, it just enables them to get on top. Exactly what I was saying. They're getting right on top of the Yumi. This is where they want to be. Kaiserklein, Knuschelbär trying to get a pull off here with the Yabusamis, but being unsuccessful, and as a result losing most of his mass. A huge amount of mass that's being lost. How many units do we have here for Knuschelbär? We've got 10 Yabusamis. He's down to 107 pop, and compare that to the 162 pop of Kaiserklein. So absolute massive swing. 89 villagers as well, about to make the 90th villager. Huge economy behind this, sending 1,000 coin. Bit of a miss macro. 58 villagers on wood. Is this Aussie Drongo? Can we get an IP check? I think this might be Aussie Drongo playing right now, because that is a lot of wood. Now, just appreciate for a second that the reason why he's got so much wood right now is because he's got 58 villagers on wood. Because he's just run out of... He's in the middle of the fight, you know, the coin mine runs out, you just find those idols and you just chuck them on wood. It's what happens. And then you get back to the fight. Opronix now applying pressure to the north. Probably not a good idea considering the Yabusamis that are out on the field. This game definitely unfolding to be quite a good game. Interesting position for a rice paddy. I'm curious if there's probably wasn't enough space back here. There was plenty of space back there. Just the decision not to do it. And now we've got the strelets moving in underneath the town center, trying to separate this Yabusami, saying, if you want to be in here, that's fine, but you're going to have to go around the long way. And really just doing a great job taking the second Yabusami out and getting a big batch of sentries. This is the full batch of sentries now. Look how many of these bad boys are there. How many do we have? We've got... Is that 5, 6, 7? There's a lot of sentries that are out underneath here. And now we see the Yabusamis beginning to rebuild or to regroup. We've got 9 Yumis out on the field at the moment. So slowly whittling it down. But the Nagis have really been the highlight, because the Nagis have been poking these bad boys. We see poke, poke, poke. 1.5, 35 damage with a 1.5 modifier. Absolutely shredding them. I don't know how many. I think probably 2 shot them, maybe 3 shot them. 3 shot them. It looks like a 3-shot. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to take a quick break, have a sip of my orange juice. I've got it sitting right here next to me, as we do head into a lull in the action. Thank you so much for your patience. All right, we're back. And what a game is unfolding right now. Holy moly. Okay, I tell you what, that juice is delicious. Now we've got 9 Yuumi archers. Why are we sending 9 Yuumi archers and not Yuumi attack? I guess because you don't really have a big mass at the moment and you're scared of getting pushed in. That makes total sense to me. And on the other side of the map, though, we've got Kaiserklein. Is he macroing yet for an age 3? It doesn't look like. He does have that beautiful 2,000 wood. This is the Aussie Drongo 2,000 wood case, or 2k wood stacked. Now, keep in mind, Kaiserklein is doing it at 25 minutes and not doing it at 15 minutes, which is when I prefer to be doing this stack. Now, keep in mind, these are very high skilled players, so parental supervision is advised when you're doing this type of thing. Take a look at Knuschelbär, see what he's up to. 64 villagers at the moment, so almost at maximum villagers. Still training it, 26 minutes, so we're moving in towards the late game at this point. Curious as whether we're going to be seeing Knuschelbär opt for that age 4 that we've seen so often him do. Probably not though, just simply because he's playing against Russia and he's definitely outmassed at the moment. Kaiserklein is outscoring him quite effectively as well. We've got 300 or 3,000 points difference, so a pretty big score lead for Kaiserklein. Now getting his plantation upgrade as well, so definitely moving into the late game. He's still got coin mines out here that he could potentially mine, but obviously appreciating that. Oh, look at these shrines. These shrines are out here, but they're empty. So really, Noosh has been absolutely relentless in putting his shrines out there, and Kaiserklein was 100% punishing him for it. But it definitely seems like he's been able to gather enough energy to really just sit out on the map, because we've got the shrines out here at the front, shrine, and they haven't been taken down. So whether Kaiser needs to go send a handful of muskets or some Opriniks down here, maybe he can't even afford the pop space. And now we see refrigeration coming in from Kaiserklein. Definitely a lull that's heading into this, and we've got a blockhouse going on the back line, a second blockhouse as well. So really just securing this all. We've got another estate that's going down, getting those upgrades. Range cavalry caracol coming in as well for the cavalry archer. And so now we've got a bit of a push coming in from Knuschelbär. Knuschelbär getting a little bit confident here and saying, you know what? You've been a bit quiet over on the western front. I'm going to go ruin your day. I'm going to see what I can do to help you out. And that is indeed exactly what we have happening right now. We've got Kaiserklein that's beginning to defend. His infantry is quite well upgraded, but the Yuumi archers just outrange the Strelets so significantly. It's a very difficult fight. That's the primary issue that you're going to have. And so now we do have the Cossacks charging around the north side, but the Yabusami are just going to be able to go out there and meet them. There's 12 Yabusamis. Also got a handful of Nagi that are here as well. And the main thing that needs to be happening here is that the Yuumi survive, and that's exactly what's happening. Yuumi mass is being retained. Yuumi is just one-shotting the Cossacks at this point, despite having 360 HP and 30% range resist. Really doing a great job of just making sure that he's on point. And now we've got the Strelets beginning to move up, beginning to push up with that 4.95 movement speed from the advanced arsenal. The military drummer has enabled them to get faster. Potentially see the Golden Pavilion changed over to speed so that these Yuumi are a little bit quicker. Probably not going to be happening. Now, Japanese explorers do not snare, so if you're thinking, oh, quickly snare those Cav Archers, they're not going to snare. Cav Archer versus Cav Archer. Who is going to be the victor? Well, I definitely think the Yabusamis are. They're beautiful. I love them. I love Yabusami. Now, keep in mind the veteran cavalry archers have got 30% melee resist, whereas the Yabusami have got 50% ranged resist, giving them essentially 480 hit points versus 357. And so now we've got a bit of a misplay here from Noosh, not really appreciating or not really respecting that Kaiser might be out on the map. Nagi's on the Strelets. That's where you want to have your Nagis, but not where you want to have your Strelets. But they're moving through. Cav Archers being able to pick up the Nagis. Cossacks moving towards the back line, but not a whole lot. Actually, a fair bit of Cossacks coming through now. How many have we got? We've got, it looks like about a handful of Cossacks coming through. We see more Yuumi coming in to reinforce, but at the same time, we've got Yamabushi that are ready. They're prepared. They look like they're moving into cover mode, and they're beginning wailing away. We've got a castle going up from Noosh as well. Have we got any units in queue? We've got a caravel that's in queue from Kaiserklein, and for Noosh, he's only begun queuing his units right now. It definitely looks like it's coming into a death push at this point. Kaiserklein really trying to put the nail in the coffin at this point. 74 villages for Noosh. He needs to survive this because he's got the economy to make this work. The main issue that he's going to have is he's not going to survive here. If he's got shipments ready, he needs to be able to send them. But it looks like he's going to be able to hold once again. And so now the question is who outscales who in the late game? Is it Japan that outscales Russia? Is it Russia that outscales Japan? That is the question. And it definitely looks like at the moment, if you're looking at scores, I got to be saying Russia is looking damn fine, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at that. Noosh stacking up 3,000 food at the moment. Really taking a page out of the notebook of Noosh. But we've got a bit of a battle unfolding. We've got two Atakubunis fighting on the north side. I'm curious whether these have been shipped from the home city. They haven't been shipped from the home city. So Noosh opting for a little bit of a water deck. A bit more curious. And we hear those subtle bows. Listen to the sound. That's what it sounds like. To me, that's what it sounds like. It's like a... Noosh just absolutely doing amazing. Oh, look at the shuffle. Every day I'm shuffling. You reckon you could probably play that song to these guys shuffling? Okay, they fixed it. Hold on. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. No. All right, back over to the action. We've got the Strelets marching towards the coin mine. I'm just kidding. Shuffling. Man, these boats, don't the architecture for these boats look amazing? Architecture, I don't know if that's the right word. Look at that shuffle. Look at that shuffle right there. Look at that. Oh my, I love the way she brings it up on me. Look, I can watch this all day. All right, over to the eastern front, rather. We've got a bit of a fight, a little bit of a fight unfolding, making sure we're zoomed out all the way. Yep, that's as far as we can go. Excuse me, clearing my throat. Let's get into the action. The Naginatas. Moving on, we've got 8 Naginatas that are on the front line. At the same time, Strelets definitely in a good position, but there's 35 Discipline Yumi here, and they're sitting beautifully behind the shrines as well as the trees. Really, really good fight for Knuschelbär. I like this position a lot. I don't think this is an advantage or like a position that you want to be fighting into at all. Very, very good. I can see the reinforcing batches come down. I'd like to see a couple more barracks thrown down. We've only got 2 barracks at the moment for Knusch. I'd like to see that increased, maybe see 3 barracks, and really get those units out pumping. He's got a shipment as well that he can send. Curious whether we're going to see 9 Yumi from the home city. We are not, because he's already sent it twice. And we've got a cav switch coming in from Kaiserklein. Kaiserklein with the cav switch now. 10 veteran Cossacks, but keep in mind there are walls here. And despite there being walls here, there is still quite a large open area. And Noosh having to respect that and move his villagers away. Now, keep in mind, a 10,000 point lead has opened up behind this. I'm suspicious of Kaiserklein. It is because he's got 4,000 food stacked up. That's why we're seeing such a large score lead. This is the equivalent of 4,000 points. At least that's my understanding. So really, the score is a lot closer because what can you really do with that? And oh my god, do you guys see what is in queue right now? We've just got a couple Yamabushis on the back line. But do you guys see what is in queue right now? Let me see it in chat. And it's happening. It is happening. And at the same time, we've got a Strelet batch being donated over to Knuschelbär. Knuschelbär wanting to just, you know, clean this up just a little bit. But the entire army going back for Kaiserklein. And oh, we've got the dance happening again. I love this dance. I mean, it just looks so silly. And the petards are out. Where are the petards going to head? If I'm petard, I wonder if he shift clicks them. If he was smart, he'd probably put them in a boat, in a caravel, I would say. And like you bring them around, he doesn't really know where the wonders are for the Japanese. You would assume that there'd be a wonder like right here or here, right? Let's have a look. Correct. There is a wonder right here. The Golden Pavilion. And now on the front lines, we've got the Yumi beginning to siege the artillery foundry. I want to watch these petards, though. I really want to watch these petards. Where are they going? Where are they heading? What are they doing? There they go. They're moving towards the north side of the map. Going to be able, probably going for that town center. They do actually have enough damage to one-shot a shrine. So perhaps we could see them on the shrines. Quite expensive, but the Cossacks which now coming in, we've got a whole bunch of Cossacks, 29 Cossacks coming out on the field right now. We've got a couple of them that are sitting idle in base, actually heading towards the north side. But at the same time, we've got the Nagis that are fighting against the Cossacks. A great fight for the Cossacks. Cossacks always want to be fighting against Nagis. Very effective fight for them. But now the Yabusamis on the back line. How many Yabusamis do we see? Only 7. These are rookie numbers. You got to up those numbers, Knuschelbär. I've seen you before. I've seen you up them. They've got 36. I heard a sound. I don't know what that sound was, but I heard it. There was a very loud sound. And now we've got the Nagis moving out. This Nagi timing, if these Nagis get on the Strelets, they're going to be in a prime position to really take this out. Just 4 or 5 Nagis is all you need, because look at the cavalry archers. Cavalry archer mass has dwindled down to 0. Not a single cavalry archer stands on the field. Now we've got a batch of 10 Cossacks, reinforcing Cossacks that are coming in, and 29 Strelets that are being left. We've got 5,000 food now sitting in the bank for Kaiserklein. Holy moly. Kaiserklein. Yo. Get those infantry train faster cards. That's what you need, buddy. And I just want to see you spamming the heck out of some Strelets. Just make it crazy. Town center is down. I can confirm town center is down. The town center has been hit. That sounded really good. I like that. The second town center has been hit. Oh gosh. Eld indeed. So we've got 5. Now, I'd be very curious at this point what the market rate is for food, but I suspect it would be quite low. I would be thinking about potentially selling my food and aging, but I guess at this point, you've really got to be asking yourself, do I need 5,000 food? I've shipped refrigeration from the home city. I've got 3 stables down. I kind of need food, but I kind of need coin a little bit more. Cavalry Archer batch is out, and a lot of Cav Archers. We just went from 0 Cav Archers up to 15 Cav Archers. Looks like these Cav Archers don't have any bonuses against villagers. There is a card that they can send, but it hasn't been sent. The Strelot numbers dwindling down to 23, 174 population, and Kaiserklein really making an elementary mistake. Let's go ahead and take a look at Kaiserklein. He's got 56 villagers over on food right now. So I don't know whether it's a good idea, but I would just be like grabbing these villagers and just putting them over onto wood. And then I'd be like potentially building a forward base and then just training a buttload of units. Because right now, 6,000 food. Oh, there we go. We just saw some food being trained or food being used, but still 5,000 food being sit there. And now these Atakubanes, just, they seem like they've just been waddling all day, back and forth. It's curious, isn't it? And now, still hitting at 5,300. What have we got here? Is this a second town center being put up? So now Kaiserklein taking a page out of Kinesi's book and walling. I don't even think he's going to delete the pillars. It doesn't look like. I think he's just committing to it. Now, has he made an elementary mistake and not assigned a villager to do this? I can't see any villagers actually building this wall. I can see a fight going down, though. Oh, my lord. On the eastern front, we've got Cossacks moving in onto position. How many Cossacks have we got there, Drongo? We've got 24 Cossacks on the front line. And at the same time, the Yumi are looking good. But have we just aged up? No, I thought we aged up. For some reason, I thought that we changed. We've got the new Sentry Uprising that's about to be called. At the same time, we've only got 8 Yabusamis. It doesn't look like there's a lot of Yabusamis. I think Kaiserklein's actually in a really prime position here, despite being able to have all that food stocked up. He's got so many units now, and not enough walls coming out from Knuschelbär. I want to see walls like Kaiserklein's doing. I want to see walls like Kinesi. But look at the numbers that have just dwindled down. You've only got 6 Yabusamis. You're going to lose your entire mass of Discipline Yumi. What are you doing? Knuschelbär, where are your walls? Get behind your walls. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I did not expect this. And Kaiserklein finally putting an age up in queue behind this. Just when you thought it was over, it's not, because the reinforcing batch of Nagis has now come in onto the front line. We've got 41 Strelets here. We've got how many? We've got 8 Cavalry Archers on the back line, but the Nagis are really going to be able to put in the work. And somehow still, Knuschelbär is holding on despite not having any walls. Don't you know the rules? There's a whole clan dedicated to this. Walls plus Yumi. That's what you need to do. Where are your walls, buddy? And don't tell me you're scared of getting petards. Petards petarded. Still, on the north-hand side, we've got fishing coming out. Let's have a look, a little bit of an economic comparison. We've got 72 vills up against the 101 villagers of the big Klein. Klein Dog absolutely doing work, taking out another villager here from Knuschelbär. Got that age up in queue. He's going up with the Cavalry Marshal. Curious what the Cavalry Marshal does. I would expect probably does like 6 Cossacks. Would that be what the Cavalry Marshal does? Look at the cavalry switch that's coming in. I want to see like 50 Cossacks come out. Just get 50 Cossacks and just run them into the enemy base. Now, keep in mind, we do have advanced arsenal sent for Kaiserklein. It doesn't look like he's sent the, or it doesn't look like he's researched the upgrade that enables your cavalry to do a little bit more siege damage. So if you guys were thinking, I want to see him with that, and I will see some Operonics out in the 4th age, not going to be the case at the moment. But Strelet's really not doing, barely scratching these Nanis. These Nanis sitting up with 435 health, but now just taking a huge hit to their HP. Keeping in mind they've got that 30% range resist. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. There we go. Age 4. A little bit of a freeze. Now Kaiserklein falling back. Look at the units that he's got in queue. Making no mistake. Just really getting these out. He's only got 100 wood though. So probably going to need to be sending those factories from his home city. Get them straight onto wood. Probably doesn't want them on heavy cannons because I don't think he's got the population space for them, to be quite honest. But nonetheless, I do expect that he might be sending or selling some of this 6,000 food. Finally gets that factory in queue. And getting the standing army upgrade from the church, it's going to increase the speed at which his infantry create. And now just getting out that the cavalry archer batch, so getting 9 cavalry archers. But the Strelet mass is beginning to dwindle, but for very good reason, my friend. And that is because we've got so many Cossacks out on the field. 20 Cossacks at the moment. We've got 50 Strelets. And finally, someone has been tasked to this wall to build it. Began down in the bottom. Now we're here. The fight begins. Kaiserklein pushing in, looking like he's going to be really just doing a bit of work. But the crazy part is he's been up on population, he's been up on score for the majority of the late game. but he's never really been able to put the nail in the coffin. But I think the nail in the coffin is going to be coming because the guard upgrade for Strelitz is here. And when this upgrade reaches, he's just going to be able to like a move straight into this enemy mass and really not worry about whether he's taking effective trades or not. There they go, the guard upgrade. 18 attack now compared to the 30 attack of the Yuumi. Keep in mind though, these are very cheap. 38 food, 10 wood. Love to see Russia, especially in a show match like this. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Russia coming out in the 4th match of this show match for $1,000. We're pulling out Russia. I still just can't believe it. I really can't believe it. And now the Yuumi mass beginning to be added to 35 Yuumis over on the right-hand side. And oh no! Knuschelbär, what? How did you get down there? Oh my god. I didn't even know that was a thing. Knuschelbär trying to be sneaky, do a little bit of a raid on the bottom side, and his army's getting caught on the cliffs. Getting caught below on the cliffs. If I do this, is this gonna work? No, that's the wrong button, Drongo. Let me try this one. Hold on. Okay, now getting out. Okay, I can't get this to work. I'm trying to rotate the camera, but it just wasn't working. But now finally getting out. And Noosh really drawing the attention of Kaiserklein here. Kaiserklein bringing back all of his cavalry to deal with this. And that's exactly what Noosh wants. Heading straight into hand combat and saying, let's do it, baby. You want to tango? Let's tango. And they'd be happy to tango all day. Now, keep in mind, these guys are the galleon equivalents, okay? Galleon equivalent, meaning that they are siege troopers, meaning that they take less damage from the anti-ship attacks. They only take 50 damage a hit, so they're tanky as a mother. And so we can really just see these guys sit in here all day. But the single Ashigaru is still still just being a nuisance. And on the south side of the map, now we've got Knuschelbär pushing out. Despite the 15k score lead, he's really not letting him worry about score. Just remember, guys, score is only a number. Behind this, we've got Great Buddha. Nush always seems to go up with the Great Buddha. He always hits age 4 with the Great Buddha. He never goes up with anything else. And this is a concerning position because Kaiserklein undoubtedly has Cossacks in queue. And these Cossacks are going to be reinforcing. So you've got to run all the way back out to your base. These Cossacks are going to be able to hit you before you're able to get back. Huge trade coming in from the south now. So we've got the Yabus armies on the bottom, managing to take out the majority of the Cossacks, but the Cossacks are overwhelming them. Guard Cossacks, keep in mind, Guard Cossacks. These are fully upgraded Guard Cossacks, and this mass has dwindled completely. I think this is over. From here, I don't think there's any possible way that Noosh is going to be able to win. I think this push out was a mistake, 100%, and he's lost his entire army. He's getting Bastion behind this, so never give up, never surrender for Knuschelbär. But the walls are coming in too late. Knuschelbär, you needed these walls 20 minutes ago, mate. You didn't need them now. I need walls and I need Bastion from you 20 minutes ago. And I want you slowly pushing out with Yuumis, but it just never happened. Noosh almost reaching the 4th age now. Got that big bad Buddha in queue. Look at these Yuumis. We still don't have... How many barracks do we actually have down? We've got 2 barracks still down. Just 2 barracks. We've got 2 stables down as well. I want to see like 4 Raxes, man. I just want to see so many Yuumis coming out of you that you got Yuumis as far as the eye can see. And now we've got the Nagis. Oh, bit of lag. Both players now reaching the 4th age, but isn't going to be enough. What have we got in queue? I'm suspecting that we're probably going to see 4 flaming arrows. 4 flaming arrows coming in as well. And look at the huge massive Cossacks now moving in. These guys are almost as strong as Hussars. They only cost 1 population, and they are just so insane. Now moving in, I think this might just be GG. As long as Noosh has got siege, this is way too many units for Noosh to be able to deal with. Kaiserklein definitely, and Noosh calls the good game. Good game, well played. If the stream drops out, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to know we will be back very shortly. Don't go anywhere. That is a lot of Cossacks and a little bit too much for Knuschelbär to deal with. Incredible game. Well played. And not just a Russia game, but a Russia win against Japan. Incredibly well played. He knew exactly what he was doing, and we update that score at the top to 3-1. Oh my lord.